I think that'll do us, and hopefully everybody will be able to see everything okay. Whenever I know that you can hear me all right, I'll start jibber jabbering. And you said you went live on the main channel? All right. Oh, there we are. Test, test. Beep, boop. It won't let me click on it. Okay. Hey, everybody. Vaughn. Nope, that's the wrong channel. Vaughn here with the Vonster vlog. Hey guys, I'm Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations, and I'm trying to get my live stream to load on YouTube. Wendy, will you help me please? Okay, no. We are live streaming today on Kick and YouTube. So if there are too many ads on YouTube for your taste, come find us over on Kick. If Kick keeps eating your comments, well, we're here on YouTube. So hopefully we'll be able to find a halfway happy. Hey, Saki girl. Yeah, right? I couldn't get it to go. Now, how do I... Did you do... Oh, I see. I gotta get the comments pulled up. But yeah, I don't use the app on the tablet, babe.
Oh, you don't?
It won't let me access my creator dashboard in the same capacity as what the browser will. So, how are you doing today, Saki girl? Woo! Hey, Crafty Span. Hey, Anika. Okay, so we have some polymer clay here today that we are going to be working with, and it is the polymer clay that we are sending out in our March craft along kit. So we are sending out black, like a leaf green, a dark green, a glow in the dark that is this kind of like neutral glow color, but it glows green, and then a neon green. So I'm very excited about that, and that's what each of the packs from the kit is going to look like. Well, you are a wizard, honey. Thank you. I'm going to put it so that we are in all chat instead of just top chat. Hey, Al. Hey, Bun Bun. How are you liking Kick? I think I like Kick pretty well, except it drives me wild whenever I'm in somebody's stream and I will type up like a comment. Like I'll be just chatting with my friends in chat in somebody's live stream, and it'll just eat the comment, and I'll have to like retype it because I'm just like having fun. I'm like, I have no idea what I just said. So other than that, I absolutely love Kick. It's fantastic. Like, okay on YouTube. Oh, that's fantastic, Crafty Span. Hey, Lunia. She says, hello, everyone. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Julia. Just switched from YouTube to Kick. Right on. So, can you get me swapped over, babe? Oh, actually, right now up here on this screen, we have a little thing running, which is a sneaky peeky of, well, it's not sneaky peeky because we just uploaded it to everybody, but that's our shop update for this week, you guys. So if you find yourself in a mood to be, the new items in this week's shop update, the different cabochons and different things that we make in our home kiln, and it's all our own fused glass this week. So it's both like kind of our baseline fused glass, and then we also have quite a few dichroic glass pieces that were pretty it was pretty tricky. Like there was quite a few of them that I was like, I don't need to post this one up for sale, I can just keep it. But no, I posted them for sale so that hopefully somebody will take them home and make stuff out of them and then send me pictures. So Bun Bun says, that's wild. I wonder what causes the comments to vanish. Probably like cookies or something. But oh, is YouTube saying we're okay? Well, we'll figure that out. Hey, Erica. So again, if we're having any lag or anything over on YouTube, because I don't know why, because we're not having any of that lag over on Kick currently, but YouTube just sent us a message on the computer that's like, it's going to be laggy is what it translates to in like Vaughn words. Hey, Dark Cat. Okay, but yeah, can you get me swapped over, babe? we're going to go ahead and get started playing with some polymer clay. But if you guys do want to check out this month's kits or the new items that are in this week's shop update, check us out at backtoearthcreations.com. So here we have, this is the polymer clay that's coming. Now, so far we've just divvied it up for like our $55 kits, which are like our biggest ones. So there you may, if you're like a $25 kit, you may not get as much clay. We haven't gotten that completely figured out yet. I just wanted to make sure that I could actually like cut through the bricks, which I tried my best to make them even, y'all. But yours will come. Oh, Randy's just, I hear you. Thinking sassy thoughts over there, you sassy squatch. I love that man so much. Y'all, I cannot tell you that when I'm feeling at my lowest, like lowest confidence, lowest, like most just tired, he's my strength and he gets me through so that I'm able to like come show up as my best self and like just bring it. So I love him so much. 3 cheers for Randy. Huzzah. Times 3. Oh, Erica says, ooh, if you, wait, okay, let me go back. Just prepping a ton of rings. Ooh, what are you prepping rings for, Al? If you will be able to send items to Europe again, I will shop your shiny glass cabs. Love them. We're going to have to take a look at that and kind of get it figured out. But for the meantime, we're still just shipping to the United States because it's just, it arrives and it's not crazy expensive. And so we're so overwhelmed still just by existing somehow that we've had to remove anything that makes things more complicated. So we're trying to make everything as simple as possible across the board. And shipping internationally right now just is not simple. So at least not for me. Oh, hey, Kathy, how are you doing today? And then Erica says, oh, nice. I'm doing all right. Right on. Been a little under the weather with the season change, but otherwise doing good. Oh, I hope you get to feeling better. It started to actually feel like spring here. Like, and our like, not derpadiddles, daffodils will, they're going to be, they'll be blooming soon. And I'm really excited about that. Okay. I can focus. I promise. So what we're doing is these are just some of the colors kind of like cut up. We have our glow that glows green. We have our leaf green. We have our dark green. We have our neon green. And then we have our black. And these are from Cos Clay. So it's that rubberized polymer clay that I love so much. And this month's project in our craft along kits is leaf canes. Do it, babe? Clay, polymer clay, but specifically leaf canes. That's the project I'm going to lead y'all through. If y'all get a kit, you can make whatever you want out of it, but I really want to make like a Barbie sculpted into a dryad sculpture still. Like, I know I told you about that like a month ago, babe. I still want to do it. With the miniature leaf mask, like miniature of what I'd like to make. And then I can dress up as my doll and be like, this isn't weird at all. It's not a doll, it's an action figure. Hey, Tiggy, how are you doing? Prepping a ton to make bracelets for inventory because I just signed up for 2 more shows. Oh, Randy and I are actually going to, we're going to go and take a look at a local thing that I'm pretty sure we're going to do. Like you've inspired me so much, Al, with like getting back into doing shows. So I'm like, I should do more shows. Like, and it had me thinking that maybe I'll do the farmer's market. And then I don't want to do the farmer's market because it's outside and weather is so variable. And I sunburn so easy. And so I was like, and it's every weekend. And I'm like, that's a lot. Like that's a lot to go from nothing into every weekend. And so it felt kind of big to jump into. And then we found out about this like handmade and vintage market that happens in our town. Like just started this past like late fall, early winter time frame. And well, they're having one this month and we're going to go and look. And if it looks like it might be a good fit for us. Which quite frankly, if there's nobody else selling what we're selling, to me, that's a good fit. It's like, whereas if we go and it's like just pure jewelry. I'm like, maybe we'll look for a different show. But I don't know. I'm afraid it's going to be kind of yard saley. But I need to get out of my house. So we're probably going to end up doing it anyways. But we're going to go and like scope that out. Randy says, I left my house once. It was horrible. Hawk says, I just walked in on action figure. Must have missed something. I have 2 events in May. Ooh, right on. I want to make a Dryad Barbie and then dress up as her. But it's actually, I'm just prototyping the costume on a much smaller like figure. But I just really want to play with dolls again. So I'm going to figure out how to be like, this isn't a doll, it's an action figure. And I'm a professional, dang it. It's got Kung Fu grip?
Action figures have Kung
That'd
Fu.
be really cool. Oh, Alice has signed up for a medieval and steampunk festival. Very nice. Hey, Rosadelle, how are you doing? All right, I actually have to get to it. So, also, I cleaned my polymer clay machine this morning and my whole sculpting area. So, I did this for you. Here we have, and it's not just in the shadow, this is a Skinner blend of the leaf green into the neon. And I want to show you guys how I did this because cosplay is, I think that was my chair.
Okay.
I was gonna just pretend like nobody could hear that thing that sounded like a fart that I'm pretty sure was my chair.
I wasn't sure if it was you or the dog.
That's fair. Randy's over here. You farting or the dog? All right. So we started, and I'm going to make one very similar to this by using our dark green and our glow. Now, whenever you get, and we're going to have the full tutorial for this, like I'm just experimenting and having fun right now, but we're going to have the full tutorial for this this Friday at 3 p.m. is when it premieres. So and we do have the kits for it up for sale right now. So whenever you get yours, your clay may be quite crumbly. So I'm actually going to go through and work with some that's not been conditioned to show you guys how I like to deal with that. And my answer to it is saran wrap and an acrylic roller to kind of get it just rolled out kind of by hand. Do it, babe? Or, well, I really recommend the acrylic roller specifically over a rolling pin. But that's a really good suggestion, but at least our wooden pin, the wooden one, it's yeah, you could use the saran wrap on it. That's a really good idea. So yeah, you could use a rolling pin, but be sure to use saran wrap because doing like bare wood, the clay.
That would be monstrous.
Well, that's why I was like, oh, that might not be a good idea. And you know, I had that reaction because I've done that. Remember that rolling pin that had like that really cute design on it? Yeah. Yeah.
Does she know what you used it for?
I'll let her know. All right. Enough about that. So this glow in the dark clay is one that's pretty consistently always crumbly for me. But and I like an acrylic roller because I don't like to use things that I'd use on my food on my polymer clay and vice versa. Actually, I don't mind getting food in the polymer clay. It's getting polymer clay in the food that I don't like. Let's get to it. All right, I'm gonna have to get this unwrapped. Watch an old video of Vaughn making wire wrapped owl and it got me inspired. I did a wire wrapped raven. Oh, that's cool, Anika. I throw pottery. I will have to do you a mug with an elf ear handle. Oh, that is so cool. What would an elf ear handle look like? Is that like just the shape of it? I'm hard on mugs. What's your store? I've always wanted to learn pottery as well. Do it, babe? Oh, that's true. Well, she can like say like the store name probably. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So I'm going to be measuring out just because I wanted to give the same amount to everybody in the kits. And I got to get these blocks trimmed anyways. If you haven't figured it out by now, this is not a tutorial. It is just a live stream kind of hangout where we get to demonstrate and chit chat and stuff live. But that's some people's cup of tea. I understand when it's not, but if it's not your cup of tea, please do still leave a comment complaining to me about it, because that's good for engagement. It feeds the algorithm. Okay, so there we go. Oh no! Oh, Hawk. She says, I'm in bed off and on for over a week. I'm still under the weather, so I always wanted to learn all day Harry Potter movies. Right on, marathon. I do hope you get to feeling better though, Hawk. That's just terrible. Okay. So, oh, now this one's cutting much nicer. Also, y'all, I'm a monster. In your kits, dog fur is free. So I'm trying my best to keep the clay like clean and tidy, but it's not working. So be patient with me. Ooh, I try to work on polymer clay, but it never comes out even. Any tips? What do you mean by even? Like, for when you're rolling it out? So I'm going to set that off to the side. So here I have just a little bit of this glow in the dark, and whenever you'll be able to tell when a clay is being crumbly, like right from the get-go. You'll be able to tell because it'll be crumbling. Boop, boop, there we are. And so I like to go ahead and just let it crumble and layer it up on top of itself. And this is where I like to come in with my acrylic roller, and sometimes I'll crumble it directly into the saran wrap, but this is how I did it earlier today. We're going to try it a bunch of ways because I have a bunch of clay to process, and but see how it starts building up on the roller, and then I can just go around and pick up, because if I can keep it off of my hands, that's where it starts driving me nuts, is whenever I'm just clay all over my hands, and it's terrible. But yeah, and then I just kind of roll it down just a little, and we're going to fold that loose end into itself. Been trying hard with mica clay. I love it so much better than acrylic paint. Oh, trying my hand with mica clay. Right on. Like wavyish and slanted, maybe when I burnish it or roll it. Okay. Are you running it through your pasta machine and it's leaving like a wavy line texture in your clay? Oh, Hawk, she says, thanks. It sure is wearing me down and having trouble enough sitting up to do my beadwork. Do you have somebody there helping you out, I hope? So glad you're doing clay today. I've been wanting to do some recently, but I just kept putting it off. LOL. So this will help motivate me. This is your sign to drop everything else and come play clay with me. Oh, Shannon says, I know you can use the two pieces on either side of the rollers. Yep. Which actually, if you're able, for like reasonably affordable-ish at Walmart, you can get, or I'm sure you can find it at $1. So like the ones with the cork on them. But you can do stacked playing cards, but two rulers just lined up. And I like the cork, so it's technically not supposed to slide around so much, but just something that you can make tracks, and you may be able to like glue or something this to a platform that, I mean, that's a very permanent solution, but for me, it's like just to get something rolled out to a general thickness, like a bread slicer. Have y'all seen those old ones where it's like a wooden board that has like just the guide rails, and then you put your loaf face down and you like slice in and it just guides the bread, like shrimp cutting it off into slices. I'm picturing that, but for polymer clay. But yeah, the cards on either side, they're too short. So maybe stacks of paper or something, or ooh, some clamps. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yep, just the joys of living in country by yourself. I just need not to push too hard too fast. I get you, Hawk. So what are you doing with the mica clay as opposed to the acrylic paint? Like, I'd love to hear more about that. But yeah, you can kind of, hopefully I was in frame. But that's what I do with crumbly clay. Okay, so we have that rolled out. Now also we could have just as easily crumbled it into the saran wrap just to keep it off of like our work surface. Yeah. With my husband suggests accurately that you can warm it up as well, like kind of in your hands. And normally I would recommend that with like Sculpting Primo, but with the Cost clay, sometimes if the warmer it gets, the stickier it gets. So I don't know how much I would recommend that for the Cost clay. But that's just for, again, the hand sensations. It drives me nuts. Do what? I understand. He just
There's a pear under the seat.
there's a pear under the seat. Yeah. Clay Studio says had to switch to my other account. I'm the mica powder guy. Right on, Clay. I tried blending it in the clay, but I find it better to use on the outside before banking. Oh yeah, like I love that. That's such a good idea. I've heard of folks using eyeshadow as well. Okay, so we're gonna make a Skinner blend. I want to show you, now that I've played with some crumbly clay, I want to show you how to do kind of sloppy, lazy Skinner blend for making our leaf canes. And really, if you change the color scheme, it could be a petal cane. You know, it's whatever you want to use it for. So I'm just rolling down. If we roll our hand flat on our work surface, it'll make a kind of a ball. It doesn't have to be perfect, but then I'm putting my fingers at an angle so that it's like this. And as I roll, do you see how it kind of makes a little bit of a taper? And we can kind of use our fingers to squish it. You don't have to roll it like that. I think it's a lot of fun. And hey Michelle, how's it going? But I want to take, we could come down to quite a fine tip. There we go. But I just want to put these next to each other. And I'm giving myself a fair bit on either side. And I'm going to kind of squish this out into this shape so that it's like we put a yin yang and stuck it in like a blobby box. And I'm going to use my roller to roll long ways. Now, if you're doing this with just a roller, we'd go like this where we fold it towards us and then we roll it out. And do what, honey? Hot dog style? Oh, this is a hot dog. Hot dog instead of hamburger. But if you have a pasta machine, then I'm going to have to unplug this. Don't let me forget. This guy, he's been on charging all day. He's been charging too. Uh-oh. No, I did this on a way thinner setting than I meant to. I was just going to do it on my setting number 1. Now, sometimes when I put this through my pasta machine, there'll be like little wave lines in it. Those are from the gear mechanism that's here in the inner workings of the pasta machine. Like you can maybe be able to hear it. oh, that's terrible, like the squeaking and stuff. But sometimes the teeth will start to wear down or the tension won't be as strong. But yeah, so we're just going to take it and we're going to keep folding in that same direction. I never want to fold it like that. I only want to fold it where the glow in the dark's on one side and our green is on the other side. And then we'll just keep passing that through. And we can also, if it starts to get a little long, I'm actually going to fold it in half just because it gives me a little bit more mass to squish into. We can just squish it a little thicker, trying to not get too many buckles and folds in it like that because that'll translate through. But and then we just feed it through our pasta machine, and we'll continue that process of folding and rolling through until it's looking, you can see it's starting to blend out a little more, a little bit better of a gradient. And y'all, I love these polymer clay leaf canes for like, and it's a little too choppy for me. I'm gonna keep blending. I'm gonna trust the process. But I love these leaf canes for doing with like fairy houses, because I want to have a whole garden of different leaf like variegation and petal colors and different things. And so by doing a bunch of canes like this, in slightly different greens, and some of them have glow elements, then whenever I do want to sit down and make some like fairy house potted plants or like miniatures for doll houses or something, oh, that's so pretty. Now this green really does seem to be overpowering the glow in the dark, and so we have an option here, y'all, that we can actually just take some more glow in the dark and make like a little bloop, 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 like a little teardrop. And I'm gonna make it a little longer, incorporate this, and I'm not worrying about air bubbles or anything right now, y'all. I am so sloppy and lazy with this stuff. And that's how I know that if I can do this, you can do this. Oh, Michelle, I'm doing really well. I was actually thinking of you today while I was getting ready. I was putting my hair up in a cute bun, and I was like, because in my head, your hair is always like cute. So, ooh, and always pass it through the fold down. Yes, fold down first. That's such a good tip, Shannon. Angie says, just wondering if it's my Wi-Fi, but the screen on YouTube is freezing, but the audio continues and then catches up. Not continuous, but every 15 seconds or so. Yeah, it's not your Wi-Fi, it is YouTube. I don't know why they do that to us, but we don't have that problem over on Kick, and we're streaming, like it's the exact same stream off of, like, we open OBS and we dual stream. And I don't know why YouTube has an attitude about it. Like, I know that algorithms can't have attitudes, but I can't hear you, honey. He says good. Okay. But yeah, just feeding it in, fold down. Hey, Tara. How are you doing today? It looks like it will be a sculpture day. We are making some polymer clay leaf canes because our craft along kit for this month of March 2025, if you're watching this in the future, oh, that's so pretty. I think I'm going to stop here because that is just gorgeous. But it's only just begun. We're sending out kits with clay for our craft along kits for March. And so I'm just experimenting with doing some different combinations and seeing what I like best. And then I'll be recording the tutorial probably tomorrow, and then we'll be publishing it on Friday. But right now we're going over how to do a Skinner blend, which is a nice gradient. And so once we have it to where we had a teardrop of each color. And I think this works. I always feel like Skinner blends are most worth my effort whenever I use two very different colors. Because a very subtle gradient is like, that was a lot of folding and rolling for not very much pop. But I like a lot of pop. Some fairies will have gnomes at their door. Oh, I love that, Michelle. Z says, I even used gold flakes on clay before baking. It looks so cool. Really? I would have worried that they wouldn't have been oven safe. I have a lot of glitter, but I don't know if they're oven safe. Sounds like experiment time. Put just a sample of glitter on like some rolled out scrap clay maybe. But yeah, so this is on the one thickness, and this is my Makin's pasta machine, and y'all, it's so nakey. I took it apart to clean it today, and I was not having it trying to put the guards back on, so it's a nakey polymer clay machine. So this is where it embraced the nudist life. So this is where we're going to be taking some saran wrap, y'all. Let me get some water. I am parched. Right on, fairy. I gotta move some of this clay. I'm peeking around piles of it to read my comments. Sure, baby. I don't know if I'm done with it yet because I think we're going to need to have the 2 separate bins because I think the 55ers are going to be getting bigger, like more clay than the 25. So, oh, I love that. Okay, so we have our saran wrap, and I'm not sponsored. It's just like Great Value cling wrap or something probably. And I've just done a little spritz of water. It does not take much, but I'm using this as a repel. And we're going to want to have this be quite low on our saran wrap. And we're going to close it up on it, but you don't want it like perfectly pushed, smushed flat because this is going to be spreading quite significantly. We are not going to reduce the size on the pasta machine yet because we're adding a piece of cardstock. This is just like a quarter sheet of cardstock, and we're just going to feed this in. And the cardstock is primarily there to help support this whole transaction. It is so long and floppy. Like, so now we've done that, and we're going to lift and kind of dab and just make sure nothing is puckered or being weird. And now we're going to put it down a size. And then we're going to feed this into the pasta machine. And this is taking all of that work. And see how it kind of buckles just a little? That's what we want to be mindful of as we get thinner and thinner on this. But this is drawing our polymer clay out significantly so that whenever we roll it up into a jelly roll or into a bullseye cane, which this one here is one of my very first jelly roll canes, actually, you guys. And what I learned on this one was I did not need so many layers, like so much of the solid color of the black clay on there. I really wish I had drawn that gray out farther, but this is living and learning. We'll have to cut into this one today and see how it cuts after all this time. But that's a jelly roll where it's kind of like a pumpkin roll. Oh, I've been thinking about those today. And then there's also a bullseye cane. This is from that same batch. Hashtag hoarding, y'all. But where it's just a color gradient. So I really like those ones. And if you look very closely, you may be able to see the very thin lines of that color. Are you able to see that? Before it goes blurry. But the thinner we roll our clay, the more minute those layers are going to be, and so the less obvious that they'll be, which there's not really, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do any of this stuff. It's a visual art thing. If it looks like how you wanted it to look, or if you like how it ended up looking, then you did it right. Like, that's it. Huh? Beans. It really is the chair, though. It needs greased again. I would not just be rooting and tooting. Okay, so we're on number 3. All glitter is oven safe? Or just glitter in general? See, this one's kind of buckling a bit. So we just want to make sure that it's got some place to grow into, and that's why we don't smush that cling wrap down super tight. And even then, it's still going to act weird, but can't you behave like a normal clay? I'm just picturing that meme, and it's like, you're doing it right now. I'm going to put a little bit more Wawa on it, just because I don't want this sticking. It is such an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of medicine, and I hate having to fiddle with the clay. So I'm going to put it onto number 4. I rolled the other piece out to like 5 thickness, and so I'd like to match that, just for consistency's sake. Ooh, and see here, it was about to buckle. We got to catch it before it gets weird. Oh, it's too late. Oh well, here we go. Oh no, the world ended. See, it's fine. Like, if it's less than, I like to aim for doing my best, but wherever I land, that's just where I go from. So we're going to shift this to number 5. Ooh, I've got a longer piece of cardstock here. Ah, like an agate. Yes. Oh, I love that. You're a longer piece of cardstock. Says my husband from the other side of the room. If you keep being sassy, we're going to have to mic you up. Don't hiss at me. Okay, so there we go. Getting that lined up. We already pushed it up onto this size 5, I guess, for the thickness. Oh, see, with that, it'll kind of just ripple up on itself. And we're gonna, there we go. And kind of loosely, nope, just want to go in the one direction. So I'm kind of holding that end. And after cleaning my pasta machine, I'm just like, I hate this so much. I'm just not going to, if clay goes through here, it's going to have saran wrap on it. I am tired of cleaning my pasta machine. So, and then no matter how much I clean it, I still leave little flecks of a color that I haven't used in 3 years in, you know, the white clay or the glow in the dark clay. Or Randy says it's yours. You can clean it as much as you want. Oh, right on. As far as I know, glitter in general is oven safe. That's good to know and fun. But yeah, I think I agree with you that it's best applied to like the surface. So, I had meant to unpeel that on camera because it was very satisfying. Randy says, do it again. We'll do it on the next one. I'll try to do better. But yeah, so this way, and honestly, you can get a really decent pasta machine for like, I'd have to save for like $50. Like, I can't imagine them having gone up that much in price since last time I bought one. Yeah, but we kept breaking those ones. But if you get, this one's a Makins, and I really like the Makins brand one because it's not as expensive as it could be, but it's great. Like, it's a great midline one. Because like the one that was just $30, it just didn't hold up. We kept breaking them. Like the gear mechanism would break. We were cranking like 8-ounce blocks through it at a time, and well, I didn't change my behaviors. I changed pasta machines. So, and this one can handle me. So that is how we do a Skinner blend. And then to make a jelly roll, no, bullseye, we're going to start just at one end. Oh, I love that color. Love it so much. Ooh, and I kind of want to, we don't have to do this stuff great big. So I'm going to use, this is a tissue blade. It's a long, narrow, not razor sharp, but pretty sharp enough, craft knife.
That's what we can't.
What? Will you tell me later? All right. Tissue blade, okay. Camille says kick is better for watching on my TV. Right on. Oh, so yeah, I'm going to cut these in half. That way we can experiment all sorts of different ways. That gradient is so cool. I know. Oh, and I haven't played with polymer clay in so long, you guys. I'd say I don't know why, but I had really hurt my hand pretty badly a few years ago. I don't know what happened, but something in it popped, and then I kept going, and yeah, and then it popped whenever I was doing the clay, but it was a long day of use right on the back of another injury with my grabbers. Like I couldn't pick something up and hold it. Whatever muscle in my hand, on the backs of my hands that make it possible for me to hold something, I had injured in both of my hands, and it just, long story short, I wasn't working with clay for a while. I still haven't really gotten back into leather working as much because it really hurts through that part of my hand whenever I'm hammering. Unfortunately, because I'm so like, I want to be working leather again, you guys. But it's good to be back to clay though. So it's a process. I'm going to try these two layered together. First off, Randy says it's getting weird. You know, my pasta machine, I've never used it. It was an Xmas gift about 15 years ago. Oh my goodness. Well, I think that was, who was it in chat who's needing a, Anika, if you're genuinely interested in in passing along your pasta machine, and if there's somebody in chat who, who's needing that. Randy says, figure it out. But yeah, so I've lined up the sides as best I can, the cut sides, and I'm trying my darndest with varying degrees of success to roll this up. I really only focus on one end of it being clean, and then we're just going to have like a big funky end, but that's kind of where sometimes my favorite weird things start happening. Oh, this is so cool. So yeah, now that I'm getting to the end and the stuff just isn't lined up well with itself at all, I'm just doing its final little wrap. Ooh! And so you snip the tip. And I think I may. Oh, that really smushed it. Oh, whenever I trim my weird end off. Huh? What?
I didn't say anything.
You thought it real loud. What's up? What'd I do? So this weird end, I'm gonna save, and you could make that be like a rose or something. Like this is, you can totally sculpt with it. May I help you?
No. Make it turn now.
Okay. But we can take it and kind of pinch along on the back here. And it's, what's the flower? A ranunculus? Is that what they're called? You're ranunculus, Randy. My beautiful love. Would you make a cup of coffee for me to drink?
Yeah, you're a cup of coffee.
That's not what I said, wizard. He goes, poof, you're a cup of coffee. The end looks like a flower. It really does. And so instead of just squishing that, I'm going to shape it into a little flower bud. Or, oh, that'd be such a pretty, I don't know, whatever it's going to be. It's gorgeous. I love it. And so, yeah, we'll just let it be what it is. And I'm going to roll the end between my fingertips just to shape a little bit more of that clay. And we're going to add a little bit of a twist. So this clay is kind of soft. But it is not unmanageable. So that's good. If you're having difficulty with the clay being too soft and sticky, I do recommend putting it in the freezer. Just for like 3 minutes at first, just to see how it's doing for you. But you'd be surprised how much the clay can heat up just in your hands, just in your fingertips. Like even it's chilly in the house today. So like my pinkies are cold, but the rest of my hands are quite warm from working. Less squish when cut while rolling. Cutting it on the table while slowly rolling. Oh, that's a really good tip. That's not what I did at all, but that would have been a much nicer way of doing it. Mm-hmm. No, that side is relatively flat just from rolling. Like I tried to line that up. And then this is the end that we cut. Which is very subtle. Oh, hey babe. Do you have that little black light? May I borrow it? Yes. No. What? I actually caught it. Okay, so let's see. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. So we have a neon green, which I guess, is that what's... We have a neon green and a glow in the dark green. Oh, yes, it is. So it's what we're seeing be luminous here is the neon green. Because you can see the glow in the dark. Oh, that is cool. That is stinking cool. Oh, I love that. Oh, I want to look at the flower. Do what, baby?
By the way, bricks and glow in the dark were glowing this morning.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I bet that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was something. The house was totally dark.
They would probably just look like blocks of ooze or something, don't they? That's pretty neat, though. I'm not gonna lie. Is it alright if I hold on to this? Okay. Just for today's stream, don't be sad. So now, I guess we could... I feel like it would really overpower the colors if I were to put in just a layer of black. Normally whenever I'm making like a jelly roll as opposed to a bullseye cane, I'd leave my clay quite thick. So I'm going to do these two as bullseye canes just on their own. Am I getting the term correct? Or is a bullseye where it's the different like concentric rings? I think you're right, honey, that it's the concentric rings. So then what's the one that's just a gradient called? So we're just a Skinner roll. Oh, you know, I think you're right. Boop, 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 boop. Oh. And you can see it's just a cute little silly flower. Let's try it with, so we roll it on the table. Ooh. For less squishing. Oh, I still squished it. But now we have a little organism for in our fairy garden. So we're going to save that as a little end. Oh, yeah, a little mushroom cap. So I'm going to do this side as well. You really have to keep your blade straight. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was such a... Oh, a barnacle, yes. That was such a good tip. Thank you. Ooh, and now we got these cute little textural things going on. Is your blade sharp enough? I didn't know that these were supposed to be sharp. Because, and it's occurring to me, this is one of my very first tissue blades from like, when did we start getting into polymer clay? 2012? So like 2010, 2012. It's probably not sharp enough. Being sharper would help, I'm sure. And this is, it came in a 2-pack of like a thicker one and then a thinner one, like two group, like a, so it was a 4-pack. There was a thick, a thin, and a wide wavy, and then like a tight wavy that was like little ripples. And this is the thick blade from that set. So we're gonna roll up this one as well. It's okay, baby. You know, Randy's weaving some chainmail for the booth. Possibly for the website as well in upcoming jewelry shop updates. He just got one done and he's like, I'm not as fast as I used to be. You do great though.
Oh yeah, no, the closures are good. I'm just slow.
Well, slow and steady still gets us where we're going. That, and I don't know, like, you certainly haven't been working on it for the full 48 minutes. Well, you were doing other things as well. Okay. Well, one bracelet in 40 minutes, I think that's really good. He says it's too close to an hour. Like, I don't know what other folks' rate of weaving is on, what is that, a 16 gauge, 3/16 inch Byzantine? No. Yeah, because it's 16 gauge instead of 18. And that's why they're a little too thick for, like, yeah. So instead of trying to roll, I was trying to do it in like one solid push across roll, just rocking back and forth. Oh, so nice. Randy, my love, could you preheat the oven to 275 Fahrenheit, please? He's so much. So I'm just going to be baking these as they are, and I save them in just like a drawer or a bin for whenever it's like rummage time to be making a fairy house, because I can just hot glue on some polymer clay flowers and stuff, or I could use liquid polymer clay or super glue. Like if I used liquid clay, I'd need to bake it, but if I'm adding it into a piece that's going to be baked, perfect. So I like having them made because there's so many different options of what we can then do with them. They can also be drilled after baking as well. So, because wouldn't this, ooh, I dropped it. Wouldn't this one be like such a cute little like bead cap? Like, I think that'd be really cute. And the Cost Clay bakes at 275 for 15 minutes per quarter inch, I think. Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh, and that one came out so cool as well. And I'm just gonna do any reshaping. And so now we're building a plethora of little polymer clay stuff. Hey Malcolm, today we are making polymer clay Skinner blends. And so we've just made these two using some neon green and glow in the dark clay. Like this one, the center is neon green, and this one it's glow in the dark. But we're sending out this clay in our craft-along kits that we send out every month, so that folks at home can use the same materials as us, but then we can all like kind of see what we made. And this is so cool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the rosette end of this one as well. And again, just doing that kind of forward and back. Ooh. There we go. Now that looks cool. So you can see this is the side where the ends didn't line up. And this was the side that I was focusing on. And that's oh, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up on it okay. To my eye, it looks really cool. Like I'm digging it. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. And I'm just gonna set that over on the polymer clay. Well, thank you, Malcolm. It's honest. I just craft a lot, but thank you. What colors should we do next, you guys? So we've used, this is the leaf green. We used that with the neon green. And then here, this is our dark green. And then we have our glow, and then we have some of the black as well. Do you want to do a jelly roll where it uses the black? Pink. Well, we don't have any pink ones. How do you reduce cracking while you drill the clay? A sharp bit, and going very slow. Like I let the bit do all of the work. Do what, babe? Randy says you go slow. Z Clay says, how do you smooth your clay after you finish a piece but before baking? There's a couple ways that you can go about it. You could use, we've got some 99% isopropyl alcohol, and that does a really good job, but I've had trouble with my clay cracking, like especially with the cost clay. I used the alcohol to smooth, and you can see we started getting cracking here and there and along here, and there we have some. Oh, thank you, baby. And we've got some cracking there on the inside.
So it looks like either your coffee grounds or your tea bag.
Oh no, the coffee grounds probably made it into the oh well. Ooh, purple and black. I love that. Okay. I think I'm gonna, oh, all right. Oh my gosh. Oh, babe, this is so good. Thank you. I started using a 1/16 inch crocodile to punch my holes after baking. I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. Like, can you explain more? That sounds really interesting. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Oh, whoo. Okay. So I was going to try to stick to what's in the kit, but I really want to do, let's do some of this. Ooh, I have some purple pearl here as well. Just because, I don't know, y'all might have some polymer clay of your own at home whenever your kit arrives that you're like, I want to make a jelly roll. Yeah, this is Sculpey and Cosplay I've found actually play pretty well together. Michelle says, now I want coffee. We really need to start a coffee brand or something if I'm going to be shilling for Folgers. What about smoothing something with, say, mica powder and a pattern before baking? Yes, thank you. I got a little derailed. I don't much care for the isopropyl alcohol for in every situation. Like I don't like doing it for like in mass. I like doing it on small details where these other methods that I particularly prefer are don't really apply. So like the fingers on like a dragon, or a small dragon sculpture, or like really small details, I'll go in and remove any fingerprints and smooth with like a soft bristle paintbrush. But otherwise, yeah, using mica powder as kind of like almost a buffing agent. And I really like to just kind of pet it. So let's see if with this stuff here, we can kind of do just a little bit of texture. Let's see how much we can smooth out. Just whoop. Now you'll need to be careful on this cost clay, because sometimes you'll find how much pressure you need to use, but it is a little bit softer of a clay. And so as we kind of just pet the pattern out of that, it burnishes the surface, and you can really bring it up to a fairly nice shine just by kind of gently passing your finger over it. I don't know if that demonstrated anything or if it just looked like I was petting my clay, but and you can use like a little spot of mica powder to help reduce any friction. Like it's almost like using graphite as a lubricant. It's so smooth that it keeps the two surfaces from, it keeps the clay in your finger from having any. Oh, good night, Anika. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm well, thank you. A crocodile is a heavy-duty hole punch for crafting made by We Are Memory Keepers. Okay. So it'll cut through like the clay. Like how thick of a sheet of clay will it do, I wonder? I'd allow drying after wiping with alcohol. The alcohol could have caused cracking. Gotcha. Okay. at a 1/16 inch too. That's like the perfect size for like putting a jump ring through. Okay, so I'm going to roll our black out to, and I'm actually not going to use this because that's still, all of this project up here is made with clay that comes in the kit. And so I'm going to do Michelle, do you still want black and pink, or do you want me to do like peacock pearl and purple pearl? It's like a shimmery teal. It's the one I've grabbed. So peacock pearl it is. We might still get some something else. Uh-oh, I'm all out of black clay. Well, out of my personal stash. Probably because I used it all up. Oh yeah. Okay. I gotta scooch this. Ooh. Well, it's got glitter in it though. And I think that if I open that, I'm gonna have glitter. I will become glitter. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Okay, no, I don't have any black. I'm not using the glitter stuff. Well, it's because I'm going to be touching everybody's clay for their kits. I can't risk glitter right now. Okay, Michelle says, yes, please, what you said. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and this is Sculpey Primo now that I'm working with, but we're still going to be using the Cos Clay Green Glow. Oh, my thumb just popped. That's okay. What? From the kit. But this was, well, this was from this block that I cut up. It wasn't from the, like, the portion. Does that make sense? Okay. Glitter is forever. It really, really is. And I'm just using my acrylic roller to get this thin enough that we can then pass it through our pasta machine. We're going to come in at a slightly different angle. And so we're just going to pass that through. And it truly, like, I love Cos Clay, but I love Sculpey Primo. Like, it's what I'm most used to working with over all these years. Like, I still feel like it's been years since I've genuinely worked with polymer clay. And it always feels like such fun. But whenever I work with any other polymer clay, I expect what I experience with Primo. And it's a very nice experience, typically. Sometimes I'll get a really crumbly block and that like ruins my day, but we'll get through it. That's part of crafting. Sometimes that's just how the polymer clay crumbles. Bye, Fariana. Thank you for hanging out with us. And unlike the Skinner blend, I'm just folding in these rough edges to condition it. This clay's been in that drawer for probably almost 3 years at this point. So, oceans of time. Hey Ingrid, how's it going? Just love listening to you in creative process. Right on. Well, thank you for being here. What are you up to today? But yeah, I'm just going to keep folding that end in. I'm actually going to bring my chair up just a little. Okay. An ergonomic angle for prime pasta machine usage. Do what, baby? Prime pasta time. But we want to get this well conditioned enough that whenever we fold it over, it's not cracking. And this one's cracking. Let us see if I have clay conditioner. No, I have some of the Cos Clay softening agent. I'm gonna see if it works with the Sculpey. Oh, it's not even open yet. That's why the bottle's not sticky and terrible. All right. So I was like, this is the nicest bottle. I'm not going to snip the end off. I'm going to jab a needle in it, and I'm going to try really hard to not hurt myself. Here's my needle tool. Woo! Oh my God, that was perfect. Do it, babe. I mean, went through like butter. 1/16 inch crocodile will only go through about a 1/4 inch piece, but if you can stand a bigger hole, the larger crocodiles go up to 1/2 inch. Holy mackerel. For like a donut style bead, perhaps. I don't know. But just a boop. That's it. I mean, it's not even in frame. Sorry guys. Let me go ahead and zoom back out. We're just gonna stay there. But yeah, you can see that is quite a tiny amount, but we can always add more. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get the lid back on this bottle. And there's one. And that's still how it folds. And I've lost count already. 3, 4. It's still quite cracking. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can go ahead and risk another drop. I'm going to do 4 little smudges. And we just want to keep folding and rolling to get it well incorporated. And also, if you don't have a pasta machine and you're not worried about color layouts, like for a Skinner blend or something, just coming through and using your hands. I like to do the fold and roll. So I roll it out between my hands, fold it. You can see it's still splitting. That's how it knows it needs conditioned more. And then roll it. So we fold. Do you see? It's already starting. We can kind of squish it. We can roll it. I like to roll on my work surface because it makes me feel like my hands are taking half of the brunt. And so we can roll this out into a snake. We can do some little twists. There's all sorts of different ways of working with the clay. And while we're conditioning it is the perfect opportunity to practice and play and just see how the clay behaves. See how it starts to split. And it's just getting to know our medium. I'm going to try to get my chair to come down. I love Super Sculpey. I tend to heavy hand my pieces so it's firm enough but not too firm. That's a really good way of putting it. But yeah, see, you don't have to have a pasta machine, but I really like my pasta machine because it is so much easier to just crank it through. Cat's Corner says, does temperature of clay affect cracking? Randy and I both answer yes. Whenever it's nice and warm, it will behave better for you. So this has really taken a lot of this clay softening agent. I've heard folks say that you can use like mineral oil and stuff too. I don't mind having... Oh, my coffee's all sloshing. Sorry, I just remembered that I have coffee and I need to drink it while it's still hot. I just knocked one of the little flowers. Okay, he's safe. Okay. Someone, no, he actually is unfurred. Mm-hmm. Iris says, I like the mid-stiff clay because I'm weak. Oh no, I can just take a step back from one ball if I get it too hot and continue with a cooler piece. Yeah, and that's, you may really enjoy the Cos clay, Iris, because it's kind of, it's it heats up, like, and it'll get to where it's like, I'm like, okay, I gotta give it a break. But I think there's a time and place for, you know, all different firmnesses of clay, because it's sometimes, like, especially on small detail work, I really want something like an extra firm Cos clay that won't just turn into a puddle of smush. Whereas some of the softer stuff, like this Cos clay glow, is like, it'll turn into a puddle of smush. And it's still cracking. I wonder, what the heck? I'm kind of wondering what'll happen if we add some of this very soft. Can we condition this with another clay? So I would do this with like a translucent or something, but oh my gosh, I'm going to fold it where the glow in the dark is on the outside, because we're going to get to see some really fun, hopefully crackling and spreading effects. Or weird flaking behaviors. Okay, so it might have been better to put it on the inside. And it's still cracking. What the heck? We have to be patient and trust the process. Crack-a-lackin'. All right, so we're going to smush and roll. We can get some nice blends. See those nice textures? I really need to... I do scrape my work surface, but it'll still have just like little flakes in it of like paint and filth and who knows what else off of the marble. The weird filth? Oh. What's up? Yeah, I love that. But we're gonna smush it together and pass it through. Okay, give me just a sec. And I'll catch up with comments. Oh yeah, already we can fold this less cracking. So that may be an option too, that if you don't have or don't want to use a clay softener, just adding in, so long as the clay bakes at the same temperature, like if the formulas are compatible, which in my experience Cos clay and Sculpting are. Very little bit of cracking now. And you can see that's really coming together. I bet with a few more passes, it'll be perfect. And I don't think this has really affected the color at all. Like, it hasn't diluted it. So I'm very pleased with that. And when we can fold it, and there's no cracking, I'll consider it ready. Because why under condition and risk your clay crumbling or cracking mid sculpt? Like, I don't see any, there's no reason to rush this part. Being patient is part of it. And sometimes that's the hardest part for me, because I'm like, okay, get on with it. But fortunately, it's very rewarding to slow down and just experience how nice it is to crank your clay. Do what, honey? Camille says, I'm doing the businessy part of being a professional artist. Numbers, oof. Ooh, Iris says, I've been wanting to check out the cosplay, but I've been looking at Smooth-On's Aquarium Black Test Mix for fountain ideas. I've not heard of that. Tell me more, please. All right, another fold test. Brandy says the oven's ready. I think this is just going to be as good as it gets. I think if I want it to crumble less, I need to put more of that soft clay in it. Ooh, no cracking. Oh. A little careful with your aluminum fingers. They're fine? Okay. Good luck to you, Camille. The numbers part is not my favorite part, but it's worth getting done. Alright. And then... That's fair. Ah, this feels so much more like it's got some nice drape to it without cracking. It feels very nice and smooth. No crumbling. Like it feels supple like well-milled leather. What's the riddle of polymer clay? Crumb. Chris says, Donna Cato makes an awesome softener. Ooh, okay. Is it compatible with other clays? Or I'm going to take our glow in the dark and I'm going to... I've just remembered what it was we were working on. So I'm going to fold this like so, and we're going to feed it through long ways through our pasta machine. And I'm going to move it down to my setting number 2. And now whenever it's a stiffer clay like this, it's not as sticky, so I don't feel the need to use the saran wrap or the cardstock, though the cardstock may be pretty nice for being supportive here in a moment because we're doing it on a size 3. I've sized down, so I'm going to pass it through the machine first, and then I'm going to incorporate the cardstock. Oh, and I hope I don't regret this. Here we go. Woo! What up, baby? It's how I am. And it's working out really well. Sometimes some of the stickier clays will stick directly to your cardstock. It's horrible. So I've done that on the number 3. No, I'd moved it down to number 3, and then I did it on 3 and then with the cardstock, and I'm going to do on number 4. And I think this is going to be the last setting. That looks like plenty. What up, baby? Oh, Cato Clay Softener is compatible with other brands. That's awesome. Iris says, I've been looking at their website, and it says they're a fish-safe epoxy that can be sculpted for fish rocks once cured, be set in any tanks, but I'm thinking of using it to make some fountains. Oh, that would be so cool. Yes, I am ready. I'm ready. Well, and then it... Thank you, honey. Oh, that's very nice. So now I'm going to pop it back up to size 1. I don't actually know if I'm going to be incorporating the... Yeah, I am. I'll do the glow in the dark. Oh, so, and both of these were just a quarter of the block. So in Sculpey Primo, it comes in 2-ounce blocks, I believe. And so it's half an ounce of each color. Yeah, Randy really got this. He's got such... Thank you, honey. Such big, warm hands. But he does. He's such a Sasquatch. But, and so I'm just going to keep folding and rolling, but see how much nicer this one's behaving. And so now I am going to keep folding and rolling until the edges don't crack. And I'm trying to kind of correct the shape if I can. just get it a little bit more squared up with itself. Do what, babe? Oh, do I? Oh gosh. Or attach some broken porcelain to itself in like a waterfall feature. That'd be so cool, Iris. Every year St. Patrick's Day keeps on getting bigger. Oh, really? Let's see. Excuse me. I have some Sculpey Primo in colors for the white that I have is not in Primo. I have heard some people say that if you make jewelry in anything but Primo, it'll break. I know you've worked with polymer clay for a while. What is your opinion? Randy says even stuff made in Primo still breaks, which is true. I have used quite a bit of Sculpey 3, but I only use it whenever I'm using like something else as a core, or if I'm like incorporating it into something that's Cost Clay or Sculpey Primo. So it's like I don't just use Primo, but it's I wouldn't just use straight Sculpey 3 either, because it is very brittle and tends to crack and stuff on me. But some of those colors though, they just don't have in the other blends, and so I'm like, I need it, but I'll use it for like in a Skinner cane, like a Skinner blend, or but I wouldn't use it necessarily for like making rose petals, which I think is what we're actually going to make with this purple and teal. Is we're going to make a little Skinner blend cane, like a jelly roll Skinner blend cane, and then I didn't do the Skinner blend part, did I? That's what we'll do with this hot pink. Is we'll mix it with the glow in the dark and make it a nice little blend. And so, let's see, I'm going to need way more of the glow in the dark. I'm going to use my own stash of that. Ooh! I'm actually going to use some of my own blue glow in the dark Cost Clay. Grown LOL. Why are you like this? This stuff is so sticky. It'll be fine. Okay, I wonder if I could maybe mix some of this Sculpey 3 in the Primo translucent. Yes, I would totally try that. And then the project that you make with it, it's like I would use it. I think it'd be fine for making cabochons. I just wouldn't do something real delicate, or I do something that has like maybe a glue-on veil as opposed to having a hole drilled in it. Like, I hope that makes sense. Well, hey, Tashers, how's it going? Think it might even keep on doubling. I get that now. Yeah, but this stuff is like crazy sticky, and I don't know where it pulls up the stuff on my work surface. Nothing gets my work surface clean like trying to use this clay. And this is going to be a pain. This is going to be a major pain. Yes. Do you see how... No, babe. No, don't eat it. I'm not giving this to you. He says I'll make it work. But this is very, very sticky. So we're not going to do a Skinner blend on this one. We're just going to go. Well, and the thing is if I use a clay this soft in with the other firmer clays, there's just no way. There's no way. But no, what I'm going to do with this unruly glob of mess is I'm going to make it into a mushroom cap, just because I'm going to keep not using it if it keeps being this sticky, which seems to be what it wants to do with its life. So I'm getting some water on my hands, and we're going to be sculpting it on the tile. But it is, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what chemical I might have accidentally introduced to it or what, but it is unruly. I'm not saying that.
Well, I'm not like that.
That's fair. So I'm going to use, the obstacle is the opportunity. If it is so sticky that I can't work with it, I'm going to use that stickiness to my favor, because now it's going to stay, hopefully. As I say that, it starts to pull up from the edges. Now it's going to stay attached to our tile. And I'm going to try to sculpt a little Morning Glory mushroom cap. It's not a real kind of mushroom, but to me it's a mushroom cap that just looks like a little Morning Glory. So we could try throwing it in the freezer, but I'm going to do this right now. Well, because when it's in this consistency, it's perfect for, if it is keen to distort, then I'm going to use that to my advantage. And now we have a little sculpted flower roof. And we can even twist it a little more to try to dislodge from the edges. There we go. And then we can kind of get under them and just lift in little spots here and there. I don't like that as much, but that's all right. We can just smush it back down. But yeah. And then we can just put that on top of like a little orb or something, and it'll be like a little fairy hat, or we can try to lift it off of the clay. Oh, that's going horribly. That's all right. Because worst case scenario, it goes really horribly wrong and we just smush it. It's all right. We sculpted it once. We can sculpt it again. And it kills me. It hurts me in my heart to do that. But I know I need to practice that, because it's never going to be perfect. I need to be okay with just trying again or letting go of where it was at. But now it's never going to stick to the tile again. It's like it's ice skating. Z Clay says, I tried Sculpey 3, not a fan of it if you have heavy hands, too soft for me. Yeah, this stuff here that I'm working with is just about too soft for me, but it's fun practice. But you can kind of see how it starts to distort and get some really cool little twist and pinch lines. And now we can come in here, since it didn't stick, and we can apply what we learned from our last attempt and give it some irregularity. And I am very pleased with that, and we'll plop it down and leave it alone. There we go. And now I've used up that clay that's such a menace. The only thing I can't remake is the glow in the darks and the translucent effects. Right on. I also have a giant block of Craft Smart as well that I need to figure out what to do with. I don't know how strong that is in terms of making earrings or whatnot. Ooh, I don't know. Craft Smart, is that an air dry or a modeling clay? Because it may be nice for using for like the base of a sculpture or something. Like if you want to do a wire wrapped tree, you could make like a fake rock out of the Craft Smart, or out of like the Sculpey 3 or something, and actually like drill through it or like poke through it before you bake it. That way you can attach the root system into it and use it for some 3D stuff. Or like put some, oh yeah, well thank you baby. You could use it over a rock for, like, the rock would be the heavy part, and then you use that clay to make a display base for like a finger ring or like a bracelet, like if you want just a solid like paperweight style bracelet display, maybe for like your photography, and then you could sculpt into the surface of it to make it look like wood grain or stone or, you know, just a leaf. Like you could really utilize it for, if it's not perfect for jewelry, it might be, what would it be perfect for? Because I'm convinced for everything there is a craft. All right, so I'm gonna fold this in some more. You okay? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, you will. You'll. Oh, they were closed? That is nice. At least it's closed rings. So we're going to keep folding and rolling this. I don't know why I folded it that way. I'm going to have to start this back over. I think that's up other types of clay under the Craftsmart brand. I believe it's Michael's brand of art supplies. They have paint and stuff. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm just reshaping that just a little bit. And I'm going to feed it through this way first. Turtles. And I'm going to keep feeding this through until it's wide enough that when I fold it in half, it'll be that width. Oh no, I did it the wrong way. There we go. Man, it takes me all day to make nothing. But I'm having such a good time doing it. Do what? Same, bro, says Randy. At least we were a little productive on the front end. Now I've just been playing with my clay. All right, so I've been cranking my clay for 2 hours. Moving it down to number 2. And then we're going to pass this through like that. And then we're going to put it on number 3. And then we're going to pass this through like that. Sometimes the most important things that we do in our craft room are not actually productive in a tangible sense. I've been really needing to just play with my clay for a while, I think. And experiment and have fun without this external pressure of, you know, being productive. Oh, I usually bake mine first and then paint, but we did that faux turquoise one time, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So typically on a jelly roll, I would have one of the colors be thicker than the other, but I kind of want this to be happening like at the same rate. So the magenta is just a little thinner than the teal. So there we are, and I think I'm going to have the teal be in the middle. And I mean, I'm going to take this glob of green glow and we're going to pass it through on the thickest setting. There we go. I'm just folding and rolling it until it gets squared up. Okay. And then I'm going to put it up here. No, how do we do a taper? That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to experiment I'm going to bring this down to a size 2, and I'm only going to roll it to about halfway. And I back it up, so that was very risky of me. And now I'm going to put it on number 3, and I'm going to roll in just a little, and then I'm going to come back up. So it's really gently tapered that off. And then I'm going to tug and stretch just a little more. I don't know if that's going to be enough gradient to accomplish anything, but I'm very curious. And you can kind of see there from the side. Hopefully it'll measure up to something. But now we're going to start with rolling. So we're going to have a larger glow-in-the-dark center. Plugging and tucking the ends. And we're just going to roll it up. This is probably my favorite size of cane to work with because it gives us a very large option, and then we can cut it and reduce it down. So now y'all have been so patient with me. Now we get into the really good stuff. We're going to start experimenting with reducing our canes. What is polyclay if not the grown-up version of a less stinky Play-Doh? Oh my god, Tashers. The very first time that I played with polymer clay, I called my mother on the phone, which we didn't really talk much back then, but I called her and I was like, I'm mixing my colors and you can't stop me. And then I hung up. And she called back and she was like, the like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm mixing my polymer clay. And it was very cathartic. So now, as not to smush, we're kind of just rocking it back and forth. And then cutting through. And it cut uneven, but it'll be fine. Ah! And then this is kind of like a Cheshire cat, like glow color. Or just that little bit of like the eye of a hurricane kind of in there. And now I'm going to choose one, kind of randomly. And I'm going to start reducing it. And so I don't like to just roll. I'm pressing onto the table to use it as like another set of hands. And with not just end to end, because then I'll end up with a pucker in the center, but kind of in between each other. I'm using my fingers to press and pull down and out. And so then you can see we'll have reduced. We'll go ahead and cut through. You can see we've reduced our pattern while maintaining the integrity of it. What's up, babe? Uh-oh. And now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to reduce it down. Iris says, I usually paint after baking because I don't know how to avoid the clay cracking after I mixed it in and baked. I wonder if it's an acrylic paint, if like the polymer is in it, like if there's something that's interfering with the binding agents within the polymer clay. So I think maybe adding like dry pigments, or maybe just painting after baking. I really wanted to get, whenever business was booming a little better, I wanted to get a whole bunch of these different pastel palettes that I can't remember her name. I followed her on Instagram for years and I can't remember. It was Moth something perhaps. She's absolutely beautiful sculptures and jewelry and stuff, but she uses these, yeah. But she would show like her process videos and it showed her using these these pastel palettes, like powder pastels that are like in a little blush thing, but it's artist grade pastels. And that was a really wonderful way of giving almost an airbrushed look to her polymer clay sculptures. Okay, so I'm going to keep reducing. I think the small is going to be what I use the most of. I'm going to make like a rose, or I'm going to try to. So I'm going to cut that one in half. And I'm going to use my needle tool to sculpt on. And then my friend Holly actually gave me this years and years ago when she came and took our leather working, like leather. We were teaching how to make leather masks at Tandy Leather. And so I'm just going to. Ew, I think the screw's finally stripped out. I'll be all right. But this gives me something to sculpt on. And I'm just going to take our cane. And I don't mind if it squishes it because it's actually going to help me to get a little bit more of a petal shape. 3. So these first ones I'm cutting a little thin because they're going to be smaller. I've cut 4 that are the smallest, and I'm cutting 4 that are kind of medium. They're the same size cane, but a little thicker. And then I'm going to go a little thicker still. In this little end piece that I just cut off, that's going to be the bud that is the center. So I'm going to roll it until it's nice and swirled in my hands. And then I'm going to kind of just pinch. Oop. My fingers are quite sticky. And this is where I'm going to use, I've got this little silicone tool that's like a dough foot. And I'm using the back side of it to drag this edge out quite thin. And I'm not dragging it like I'm tapering it immediately, so it immediately goes from thick to thin. I don't want to give it a very dainty edge. And so now we're just going to come in here and shaping that end around. And I'm going to leave a hole in the center. Sometimes I'd make like a full-on actual teardrop. On this one I am not, because I'm going to be putting a head pin through here with a bead on it, and the bead will be the center of our flower. Oh, that'd be so cute. Randy had asked if the bead is going to look like a bee. I don't think so. I think it's just going to be like a little amethyst. And then I'm just using my... Where did I get glitter? Why is there glitter on me? Ah! Ah! No, it's one of the paintbrushes in my... I'm a monster. It's fine. But I've kind of pinched the little end there. Whoop. To be more petal shaped. And now I'm going to come to this one here. LOL, because glitter, right? It'll get you every time. Yeah, we could do it just like that and then bake it, and that's just a cute little calla lily. Do y'all want to make just a bunch of little trippy calla lilies? Oh, well, that's what we're going to be doing right now. What? Well, they're glow in the dark Cheshire cat theme colored calla lilies that are like the perfect size for a little fairy garden. Pink and purple? Oh, really? You're probably right, but for some reason I associate teal in there as well. Okay. So I'm going to take, I should go wash my hands because I have glitter all over me and I'm sticky from polymer clay. No, I'm not going to go pet the turtles. They'd still have glitter on them when Maddie sees them next, and she'd be like, how? Why?
Why?
So here, I'm going to try zooming in just a smidge. I wonder Is that lighting better? I hope. So I'm just kind of dragging that edge. Right on, Cat's Corner. Thanks so much for hanging out. Homemade Cheez-Its? And so now we're going to take that and we're just going to kind of roll it. There we go. It was like so much glitter. That's good, babe. Thanks. Brady's just over here going, I hear it's oven safe. All right. So I'm going to lengthen the end of the flower. I think I preferred the texture on the other one with it like swirled a little. But I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to pinch the edges out. Again, just to be thinner. This seems to be working way better than the little tool anyhow. And then I just grab here and I push down and then I push up and in. And that gives us that little calla lily shape. And then we just slide that right off. And you could use that to make like an earring or in a fairy house. What up, baby?
4 minutes shy.
On the bracelet? Right on. Oh, Scully, that's a good idea. It says, if it is potentially could be the water in the paint you're using. So as you said, if you let it dry longer, maybe it won't crack. That'd be cool. Pan pastels. Excuse me. Yes. Pan pastels. Oh my God, I'm choking to death.
Glitter over there?
Uh-huh. Glitter gonna get you. Whoo! Okay, so again, coming in, doing that little bit of a roll. I'm trying to not roll it too much because then, does that light help or is it just like horribly glare? Well, now it's so dark without it. Okay. And then I'm just kind of pinching between my fingers just to bring that edge out real thin. And then we'll just bring it down. Whoop. And then, gosh, if we were making a miniature replica of the trumpet vine, this would be the perfect little shape for that, I think. And it almost looks like a pitcher plant. And we just pull the needle tool out and we leave that hole through. And you can see that makes for a pretty cool little polymer clay flower. So what else could we do with these? Well, let me make a third one because batches of 3 are just nice. And I think if we come through and if I pinch the edges first, that may give us a really nice effect. Before or after rolling? Well, this one I don't think is actually going to be super impressive under a black light, except for that one little spot, because the purple and the teal are not UV reactive or glow. I did, but and I don't think it's going to be enough to make a difference. just because it'll be so overpowered, I think, by the teal. We'll still take a look at it. I think it's going to be hard to see here in the daylight. Well, yes, and especially if I keep being out of frame. Oh, I love that shape. I think I still would have preferred a little bit more contrast between the teal and the purple, but this is not bad.
You really do have glitter everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't even know. Like, I touched one thing. And there we are. Just another little alien flower. All right, let's see what happens when we take this and we roll it. Oh, that's a really nice, just kind of cool looking little bead. And I don't try to shoot for perfectly round beads because I cannot do perfectly round consistently, even with my greatest effort. So instead of trying so hard to get it to be perfectly one way, I just try to get it to be consistently inconsistent. And I'll aim at just trying to have them be the same mass of clay per bead, and then lean into the whole irregular nugget angle. So that way they're kind of a little odd on purpose. But yeah, so there's a little bead. And we just apply our needle tool and kind of roll back and forth. I just use the palm of my hand as the bead tray, sort of, the bead roller. There we go. So there's one, and then I'll use another similar slice of whoop. Let me see how that cracked. That's not my favorite. But a similar sized thickness. What up, babe? Oh, well, thank you, Al. More of a textile crafter, but I love your voice and soothing talk, so I'm here for that. Right on. My favorite thing about getting to do these live streams is we kind of get to keep each other company from the comfort of our own craft nests. So we could have somebody working on textiles, we can have somebody crocheting, I can be over here wallowing in glitter and polymer clay, like my husband's over there working on chainmail, like, and so we all get to kind of socialize, kind of have some chit chat going on without having to leave our craft rooms, which is my favorite, or put pants on. So, and I try to do what? I didn't hear what you said, honey. Randy says I don't have to have pants on. You dressed your own self this morning, babe. Oh yeah, that's true. But whenever I'm choosing a spot to put the hole through for the bead, I try to choose somewhere where like the least amount of activity on the bead is happening, like the least pattern. So like that big empty spot, because now it's got something happening there. It's got the hole in it. But it's whenever they're strung together, you're not going to be able to see up by the bead hole. You'll really only be able to see the sides. Hey Kelsey, how's it going? One big crafty family. Yes, but we also I don't have to clean my house for you to come over and craft. So Al says, oh, Randy was a big boy today. Well, if he's wearing pants, it's his own fault, is what I was getting at. So he's always a big boy. No, you can always tell whenever Randy dresses himself because he'll wear like all one color. Like he'll wear his.
Not the same color.
That is not the same color. You are correct. He'll wear blue pants and then a blue shirt and then be like, they're not the same color of blue, but he still is dressed head to toe in one color. Like, and I love it. He looks good though. He says he looks like a fourth grader. Only because you also dressed this way in the fourth grade. Yep, you had it figured out. I have become glitter. Destroyer of crafts. Kelsey says, pretty good. Glad to see you're getting back into clay. Me too. I really missed it, and it is a lot of fun. And so we're just going to roll that back and forth, and we're going to flip it around. And then, so there's another little bead. I'm going to try to do, that's 3 beads. I'll do a 4th one, and then I'll start making them in a different shape.
Well, it's our turn to be good friends. So.
Yeah, we're house sitting for some friends right now. And so Randy put on real pants because we're leaving the house. So I was like, okay, that's fair. And I try to, as I push through, I really love the kind of like nice puckered end that this end of the bead gets. But whenever I push through on the other side, it's difficult to recreate that. So on the next bead, I'm going to try to only push halfway through. And then I'm going to try to do that nice bead pucker on the other side too. So a literally hand sculpted bead. And using our needle tool like this guarantees that this will be able to fit any 18 or 16 gauge wire that we may want to use. Oh, I found the coffee grounds, babe.
Oh, nice.
Chewy coffee. I too have been meaning to get back into clay, but that means a full clearing off of my table. You can do it, Kelsey. You can do it. Like, I had to clear off my work surface this morning. If I can do it, you can do it. You've got this. Oh, hey, baby. Can you swap the cameras for me? All right, y'all. It's a bio break and commercial time. We have added some new handmade cabochons to our shop, backtoearthcreations.com, and those are up for sale, and y'all get first dibs. Well, our channel members got first dibs. Y'all get, like, you're still among the first to know. Randy goes, you get what's left. No, it's, I think everything's left, but that's all right because we're doing our best. But yeah, we've got some new cabs up there. We have some of our homemade tie-dyes that I'm really excited about. Like, we tie them and dye them here in our own home. And but yeah, that's going to be, huh? Well, no, but they're left from last time. And we also have some of our handmade jewelry up for sale. And then the polymer clay that we had been working with earlier in the stream is part of March's craft-along kit. So if y'all are interested in playing with some of the same clay that we're using, we have, as well as some of the cabochons that we make here in our home, we have those on our website as well. So I will be right back. All right.
Why did that turn off? Oh, because it's dead. Yeah, that would do it.
that purple can floating
Sure.
around. Or we can just leave it dead for a little bit to let it charge. Let it charge up on its own.
We're going to operate without this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab it and throw it on the fast charger.
Okay. Thank you, baby. Alrighty, y'all. We've had some technical difficulties. AKA, my camera died. That's alright. It's also a reminder to me that I need to plug this one in so it doesn't die as well. Because then we'd be in a pickle. Alright, can you swap me back, babe? So I'm also...
No face cam. Just
And Chris says, Vaughn lied. She's clearly wearing pants. They're on to me. Yeah, there's going to be no face cam for a bit, but quite frankly, I'm eating cottage cheese and nobody needs to watch that either. Okay, so.
Oh, it's 5 o'clock.
Right on. Thank you, baby. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the leaf canes. Well, one of the Skinner blend canes that we made earlier in the stream. And I'm just coming through and kind of shaping it around into a little bit of a leaf shape. With this softer clay, I personally am not very good at making canes with it, like that are very intricate. But what I like to do is achieve the color blend, because then we can come in and we can sculpt and shape. And let's just use that same needle tool, because you could use a toothpick or something too instead. But we can come in here and we can shape this. Do you see how we kind of gave it that little bit of by pressing the stem up and around, and then we've pulled the needle tool, pulling that down, and then we can kind of pinch it, and it gives it like a really neat texture there. And so I'm going to call that 1. And I'm going to cut a few more slices. So there's 2. And we could try to firm this up by putting it in the freezer, but for the sake of the live stream, I'm not really gonna. I'm going to lean into it so it cuts a certain way each time. Okay. Vaughn, is Panda Hall pretty good about not lying about what type of material their stuff is? Oh, I know some companies on Amazon will put keywords to get people to their stuff when it might not actually be that. In my experience, Panda Hall has been pretty great about just, sometimes they'll be vague, but they like by being like plated alloy. Like, what does that even mean? what alloy and plated with what, but they're not going to try to pass off, pardon me, a plated alloy as stainless steel. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, so here we can take these, and we're still just kind of pressing it up and around. Oop, and then pulling through. And oftentimes, even if what I'm making, if I'm like, this is kind of weird, I don't know how, if this is going to turn out, I just try to lean into being consistent. Yeah, that way it's consistently weird. And that way, just the repetition of the same pattern over and over, it will often be pleasing just in and of itself. Yeah, hey Cheryl, we're using polymer clay right now. Right now the clay that's in my hands is Cost Clay, and these are the colors that we're sending out in our March craft along kit. Shameless self promotion. But you could use whatever you have on hand, and we're just playing with some clay. So again, just getting that texture in there, pressing that up and around. There we go. And so now we can take these and start to press them together. And I'm just going to pinch 2 together to start with. Just taking those ends that we'd kind of pinched up. And y'all, if I had made these thinner, we could have used them as like little fairy wings or something. But I'm making a flower today, so, or like a little floret. I don't know. I think I made, but it's like a little, like a little bud, just a little like floral pattern. And so now we're going to come in and I'm going to try to bring these together like that. Like a broccoli floret, like a little sprout sprig. So I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off just yet. So I'm going to pull those 2 away from each other. And so something that we could do if you're working with, you know, the kit, and this may be what we cover in the tutorial this week, or this Friday too. And I'm going to take our saran wrap. Cheryl, we've been live for 2 hours so far today. All right, on Triquetra. Yeah, they've been really great about their stainless steel. So we have our saran wrap, or cling wrap, or whatever. I'm going to do a little bit of water just to keep stuff from sticking. I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to roll it out just a little. You know, I should have done this with the whole glob of the clay. So I'm going to try to pat it dry. Immediate regret. Okay. I'm actually going to pass it through our pasta machine twice. No. I don't know. I'm choking on the sunflower seeds. My cottage cheese. I'm passing this through our pasta machine on the thickest setting, and then we're going to cut it in half and pull that up. And now it is about 6 millimeters thick, and we want to make sure that we're not catching any air bubbles in between. And do this only when you're ready to be like done with your saran wrap, because it's going to be cutting through it. And we want to lay down a nice smooth no wrinkles in it layer. And I'm going to do two, like there's one layer right here. This is another great way of smoothing out polymer clay as well, is putting a little bit of cling wrap over it and then just rubbing your finger, and it can help kind of burnish the texture. But we're going to do, give me just a sec, babe. Tricacha says, what kind of glue do you use to attach polymer clay to things like wood, metal, etc.? I have a few projects where I will need to do that, and there's so many answers out there that contradict. I think part of it would have to do with if your wood has been sealed or not. You're going to want to sand it. A lot of the times, oh, what am I doing? I thought I'd bring this light down here to help, but now I have nowhere to clamp it to. And I had somehow already put things on top of the clamp. Okay. Disaster slightly averted. Oh, wood slices? What kind of environment are you planning on having your finished piece out in? We're live for about another hour. We'll be done at 6 p.m. And so I'm going to take this circle cutter, or oval cutter, and I'm going to put that on here. And I'm going to try to find something to protect my hands. So I've got this little marble pivot that I'm actually going to take and just press, because there's no reason to overstrain our hands if we don't have to. They'll be for sale. I could put a disclaimer on them to not be an outside piece if I had to. What I have plans for personally, let me show you. It helps me, I think, to have it in my hands. So I have some of these wooden slices, right? If I were doing something that's protruding out and may have quite a bit of leverage on it, I may want to drill in and like set some armature wire or like just some screws like done at an angle to get it to be like, let's say if this little tentacle were going to be protruding like for a like an earring rack, like a little, like I think that'd be super cute to make like an octopus where each of the little legs is going to be holding some jewelry. I would for sure want some armature wire in that, and I would actually drill just a little bit into the wood to attach that so that as it's protruding, it's not just glue holding it on. And then I would use something like perhaps a super glue or even a hot glue to adhere it, though it depends on how you're going to finish it. If I'm putting a little bit of like moss or something around this, I might use hot glue and use that to help stick the moss on. But if I were doing this and then doing some of the flocking moss that's mixed with craft glue to get it to like, be a little bit more plasticky once it's on there, then I would just use super glue to attach it and then build up the flocking moss glue concoction around that. So I wouldn't trust any one glue to attach it because I'd want that little bit of the armature wire going in. Now, if I were just sculpting a piece onto this, like let's say it's like a cute little mushroom scene or like a little fairy house door or something, I would probably be just fine with doing wood glue on the surface and applying the baked clay to that. Or I may put the clay directly on here with a liquid polymer clay. Again, I might drill a little bit just to increase that surface tension or surface area and to reduce potential shifting, and put the liquid polymer clay on there and then just sculpt directly like to this piece. But if I were just taking, pretend with me for a moment that this is, shoot, it could be polymer clay, it could just be, you know, this. If I were just slapping something on there, I may want to use a 2-part epoxy. I wouldn't just do super glue because this is so smooth. Oop. But if I set this in polymer clay and then set it on here, it'd probably be fine with super glue. If I'm just using this as like a fridge magnet or something, like, we're not working on structural engineering here. Like, it doesn't have to be able to bear through the loads of everything through life. Sometimes people just need to treat handmade things gently if they can. So I hope that that's helpful to you. And I hope the takeaway is anything could work. Try it and see. So we want to make sure that we've cut all the way through. And we're going to lift that off. And this is where using a little bit of water is really nice. And so now you can see that gives us a pretty decent cabochon shape. What's up, baby? Yeah, that's one that I've been hoarding for my own personal stock because I love it so much. And now we aren't providing cookie cutters or anything in our kits, but you may be able to find something around the house already, or, you know, like a little bead container or a bottle lid or something that you could do a similar setup with. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get tangled on my tripod. I'm gonna set this one off to the side, but this is gonna be our base that we can then layer the little petals onto. So I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna kind of fold it in half because I think we can do a moon with a water bottle. Let's see. I've got to drink my water really fast. Cue circus music. Actually, I'm just going to do the round. So we did a single layer of the saran wrap because I forgot. But there's a water bottle. Oh yeah. Check that out. Probably excited before I should be. That came out nice, y'all. And it's really important to me that I do the 2 thicknesses on my pasta machine, because if we did this too thin, it wouldn't have as nice of a domed surface, which may be what you're looking for. You may want something a little flatter. That way you could do like a stamp or something. And then we just lift that right off of there. And then we can tidy up the edges. I would go ahead and bake it like this and then just use an emery board when I'm done. So there's that. So with the amount of the black clay that'll be coming in even the smallest of the kits, well, our $15 kit is just our cab kit. It doesn't have the project pack as well. But the 25 and up comes with at least this much clay. Not including the purples. But so you'll be able to get a couple of cabs out of that without hopefully being too overwhelmed or feeling pressure that you have to oh my god, there's so much clay, what do I do with it? So we're gonna have these 2 coming in this way. Where'd my needle tool go? And I'm gonna turn this because we can kind of... What's that, babe? Oh, really? I'm glad you like it. Well, thank you, baby. I'm going to try to spread the petals a little more. But before we add the next piece, I'm just coming in and using a needle tool. You could use a toothpick to just drag that clay down and in to our cab base. So then we're going to put that one right there and kind of blend it in. And we haven't even done any paints or any antiquing or anything like that, y'all. I'm just coming around. And then we can come in and kind of bring these closer together. I like reinserting the needle tool into the petals just to open things up a bit. All right, and then we're going to add. We may have to make another one of these canes just so I'll have enough of the petals to go around. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. What up, baby? Ooh, Mr. Boom! Oh, I haven't been able to stop in and see one of his streams in ages. What rabbit hole did he send you down? A week feels like ages, okay? I'm just going to say. This looks like some sort of weird sea creature or something. And then I think I might take one of these. No, that's weird. Ooh, chainmail headdresses. Right on. Yeah, we're going to need to add another petal, I think. But I think this makes like a really neat little 3D cabochon. Ooh, I'm actually gonna hide a crystal in it. It's, I don't know why I say hide, because it's gonna be like there. So I was like, what can go right here? This looks so like, I'm trying really hard to not be hard on myself and be like, oh, this looks very childish and amateurish and, you know, blah, blah. It's like, I'm having fun, Vaughn, leave me alone. Like, oh my God. And then we've just tucked our little crystal in there. There we go. It's weird. I'm not certain what it is, but somebody will love it maybe. And then I'm just going to use my needle tool to add in some little texture. Going a little heavier handed, closer in towards the center, and a little lighter out towards the edge. Just to give a little bit more depth and texture, and just the magic happens in the details. Oh my God! Well, I'm glad y'all like it. Michelle says, oh my god, absolutely love that. Well, thanks, you guys. I feel like it looks like a weird little alien crystal fairy, but I love it when I'm not feeling insecure about it. Woo, woo. Oh, I caught the clay. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, nice. What'd you call it, baby? A moonlight butterfly. Oh, we could totally make some little butterfly wings. That'd be so cool. And so from here, we could do these little guys. No, I don't think we're going to do that one. On this one, we're going to do a slightly different. I want to try making succulents. So I want way more petals for this. So we are going to reduce the crap out of this cane. And I'm just doing that by rolling it out into a snake. Yep. And so from here, I'm going to leave it. This is going to be the biggest. And then I'm just going to taper it to kind of reduce that down. You'll glitter too. Ah, Tricocher says, Vaughn, you cursed me. I now have glitter in my freaking clay. I don't know where the heck it came from. I'm so sorry. It's contagious. And I'm going to start from the end, the dummy thick end. And I think I need something to put this on. Where's the bottle cap? Just as like my daub. So I do what, honey? But this gives me something to hold on to so I can turn at different angles and not distort our cab. Yeah, don't put it in the oven. You know, and that it'd be perfect. Hey, babe, can I use one of your metal lids? Ooh, loud noises. Sounds like you've got some Edward Cullen problems, Triquetcha, and you just get glitter on whatever you touch. Okay. Don't throw it, I won't catch it. No. All right. So now we can leave this on there even while we bake it. And then we should be able to just get it to pop right off because it's an aluminum lid. Okay. So I'm going to start by dragging this out real thin. Like real thin.
Yeah, I got a question for chat.
Randy says he has a question for chat.
Glass pyramids.
He says glass pyramids. We really got to figure that out before we start asking chat.
Forum.
Randy says, are you for him? But I'm going to try to do just like a little scene. What? Oh, and I'm so heavy-handed that it just like goobies it up, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to pinch that down because again, I'm not worried about the edge being perfect because we're going to be sanding it anyways. And so I'm just going to sculpt our little alien succulent. Oh, well, hey, Hannah. Oh, yeah. Just pooped in. Well. And then I'm going to do, as usual, dog fur is free. Triquetra says glass pyramid sounds cool, doesn't it? And it's like, I'm excited, but I think we might have to figure out how to. We're going to be doing a lot of hand sanding with diamond pads to get them to be shiny on the surface because the mold release that we're going to have to use for the glass pyramids is going to quite potentially booger up the surface. Yeah, I'm going to count on it, because counting on it not boogering it up, there's no way that it's not going to have some effect.
Well, I was just thinking, we clean them up and then fire polish.
We'll have to clean it up with the diamond pads to remove any gentrified glass.
But why would it be different?
Because, well, first off, I don't know if that glass was intended for fusing, so it might detrification is whenever there's particles in it that make it crystallize on the surface. But there's just so many variables that could go sideways. I think I'd like to have some diamond pads in stock for us to wet sand before we fire polish. Okay, so I'm trimming off the end here, just getting, oh, look at that cute little, you can't even see the camera, it doesn't pick up on the here. Now that I've got this secondary light over here, how's that for y'all? That still is so dark, isn't it? Okay, nope, we're gonna keep doing that. Oh, I can set that down, and we're just gonna keep cutting some little petals that are not yet petal shaped. And I'm just going to shape this around into like a little succulent leaf. And we're just going to place that on there. And then I'm going to use our needle tool to kind of poke and drag. Oh, yes, I love that. And then kind of poking it in. And then bringing that detail together to make a nice little, just tapping with my finger to get it to. And then I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to roll it just to get that cool vining. You see the color inlay?
8%.
Oh, okay, it should be ahead enough to last.
I hope so.
Oh, that is so cool. And it's teeny tiny and I love it. Oh, hey, handsome.
Wherever.
Okay, just a moment, please. Because I'm just sticky enough. Yeah, typically. And I'm just going to keep building this up until it's like it's grown out of itself. And we can give it a texture. I don't want to give it too much texture.
Alright, there you go.
Oh, thank you, baby. You've gotten it back up? We're back. Okay. So I don't think I like doing the poke through on the parts of the stem that I want to be stem. So I'm just kind of very gently sculpting this around. Thank you, JS. I love that one as well. Right on, Michelle. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And I think I'm going to take another one of these leaves and kind of shape it down a little. And then I'm going to line that up on the needle tool, just as close to the tip of the needle tool as I can. What up, babe?
Just that, Michelle.
And then that's smushed on there, so it's gonna hopefully stay in good contact. And then we can kind of drag. So we don't have to have the shape perfect before we get it onto our cab. And I'm just gonna make a little bloop, and then I'm gonna boop, and then I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna go toot. Oh, I love that. And so even though all of our clay has this like green tone to it too, we can paint over parts of this. And I kind of want to just make a little tentacle sucker. But that feels kind of out of balance with the rest of it. Oh yeah? Randy says we use glow-in-the-dark clay to make a flower. I am here for it. So in which case I'm going to take off that little bloop sploop. And I'm going to add a little floral bud next to it to make it like a flower. Ooh, Hannah, that's a good question. Hannah says, what's the plan for using the succulents? A necklace or something completely different? These could be used for like fridge magnets. These could be used for jewelry. Just what have you. Like anything that you like, really. But yeah, probably jewelry. That's why I'm doing them kind of in cabochon shape. Oh my goodness gracious, that one came out nice. This is going way nicer than I thought it would. Like last time I tried doing this, it did not go this well. And that's my favorite kind of improvement, is whenever it's coming out better than I thought it would. So I'm just cutting off little wee bitty bits of the clay. And then just getting it there onto the tip of our needle tool. You can kind of see it's just like a little seed of clay. And then once we get it pushed in, I like to twist my needle tool, that way it pulls out nicely without taking clay with it. And then I just like to come up by the sides and kind of close that. I want to add depth without it being like obvious, like I just stabbed it a bunch. Oh, these succulents over here, I'm going to be using in like a fairy house or something maybe. Boom, baby. Did you get done? Oh, Randy, that's great. You hit your production goals again today. And you have pretty rigorous production goals, so I think you're doing great. Okay, so there's that little flower. Nice. Let me get my last bite.
I thought you were using your straight little pin for that, and I was like, no.
No. Aw. I literally just looked around like, I think I'll have my coffee now. Well, that's all right. So I'm going to roll this out nice and small. And I'm going to have that be just a little bit of stem. And then I've just pulled that out straight. And I really love these silicone tipped sculpting tools, you guys, because they have a little bit of grab to them that can sometimes help me to shape the polymer clay. There we go. Just getting that snagged on there. And I like to use the tapered ends to kind of make them look like they're erupting out of like a clustered area. No, I don't like that piece. Never mind. Oop. I'm going to try to drag that down just a little. Maybe see if we can poke it. Yes! That's very nice. I love when just poking it more totally works. And then I'm going to come in here. And we're going to do like a little whoop. So there's some like tendrils and there's some leaves. And I'm going to do just like a little 3-petal thing over here. So again, just getting this clustered up on there like it's a little seed. And then I'm going to press into our cab and then pull out. So do you see how that made that shape? Good night, Hannah. Thanks so much for stopping by. And so again, just making that little shape. And on this one, I'm actually going to come down just a little from where we were and press in and then pull. And then I'm going to do a quite small, not too much smaller, but a little smaller than the other 2 petals for this front. Whoops. Well, that's just weird looking and really on there now. Congratulations, it's permanent. But that's okay because we can shape it around and then I can just poke from the inside and try to make it be like we wanted it to be that way the whole time. Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to put just a little bit of like a little bud sprig. To kind of cover up and make it seem like it grew there. So that's how that's looking. And this is how it looks under a UV light. And I tell you what, the camera does not do it justice because that looks freaking awesome.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
No, the camera's not picking that up.
So there's like a cool corkscrew effect. And then if we go...
That's really neat.
You can see them glowing. But yeah, so that's...
That's just some of the stuff you can do.
Mm-hmm. And I think less might be more on this one, so I'm just going to leave that one to bake. We'll just set it there on the metal bottle cap. The bottle cap will be popped off after baking, and we'll file down the edges on the back and stuff. But yeah, that's we're going to be going over all sorts of different little plant-inspired cabochon projects in our Friday tutorial using the clay that comes in March's craft along kit. So I'm really excited about that. Ah! Triquetcha Moon says, I can't wait to work with the cosplay glow I have. I really love it for doing like little tiny floral scenes like this because it's got just enough stickiness to it that it kind of clings to the needle tool and lets us try to make that. We can use that to our advantage, I think. So, you like it? Can you imagine that like set in some chainmail or something? Yeah? Well, neat. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, no, I wouldn't dome it. No, mostly just because I think it would run off quite a bit. If I wanted to do that, if we had a pressure pot, I would use one of those circle cab molds and I would put resin in it and then I would set this in there and pressure pot it. That way it would be lensed correctly without it just all leaking off the edge. But yeah, just a little fairy drop cabochon. So it didn't. It used a teeny tiny amount. It used a lot of the black, but that's fine. Like, that's why we have it. Hey, Lita Lee says, hey, girl. Been stalking since the beginning. Darn work wouldn't let me interact with y'all. Oh, well, how was your day at work? Okay. Ooh, I don't even know what to work on next. Let's make a rose. It's going to be a green petaled rose out of this cane. Or maybe not a rose. Maybe like a lily? What?
Forget roses. No one likes roses.
Well, if I really wanted to, I was too stingy in making the canes that there's not enough to like do much, if that makes sense. Whereas if I had just committed to a project and made like a whole cane, I'd have been able to do the succulent the way I was thinking. But now we may. I just love that shape. Oh, this one's all sorts of distorted. It's art. Yeah. So I'm going to pinch the edges down quite thin as we do. And I'm going to let these be a little bit more of a very long lily leaf shape. So kind of like that. And I'm going to try to make like a little 3D fairy garden weird plant. And I love the way that you can kind of like pinch and pull and distort the patterns in this. Okay. Oh, so I need something a little more tapered than my needle tool. So I'm going to use this porcupine quill because it's got this nice like thicker end. And I like to kind of roll. Do we have weather coming in? And we're just getting a little bit of that shape going. Then whoop. Right on. So there's that. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of flatten it out just a little. Because if you don't have any of those other tools, we can still make a really nice little... Randy, do you have any more of those bottle caps? May I have another, please? So I'm just using my finger and my thumb to kind of round down into a rough cabochon shape. Ooh. Thank you, honey.
But we should sleep well tonight.
Because of the rain?
It's supposed to rain all night.
Oh, nice. Not too heavy, I hope. Otherwise, we'll be up with the pump. Yeah. Keeping the basement from flooding.
Either way,
Oh, right on. There we go. So now this is what I would join the center to if I just wanted to make like a big cool flower. And I'm going to press in here in the center. And then here we go. Pinching the edges, getting this rolled out. Just a little thinner there at the base to make it a little wider. And then we'll shape it around. And then and I love that. If whenever it just kind of smushes in an odd way, let it be. Not what I planned, but this is what's happening. Nice. Oh, really? Well, that's all right. We don't have anywhere to be on Wednesday. It can snow, I suppose. You know, these would be really cool for some like little fairy hostas. Oh, but again, I'd need like a whole cane though, is the thing. Oh yeah, that's true. Well, we'll figure it out, won't we? Oh, that leaf does not match with the other leaves. Is that okay? That's our party leaf. But yeah, just rolling that out a little wider. Breaking that up and around. 10 minutes. And kind of just pinching and shaping. Sorry if it's blurry. There we go. And boop. And just really, oh, that's very nice. I'm going to do one more petal. Kind of pinching and twisting the end just to make it very dynamic if we can. There we go. And now that we've pressed all of these kind of there into the center, we can perhaps come in with our silicone tipped tool and get things married together a little more firmly. Clean up any crumbly bits. Oops. This big leaf is so weird. I'm going to add, if ever things are looking kind of messy, make them a little messier and it'll look very on purpose and organic. And so now we have all this interesting twisting and dynamic little shapes of things. And if we want, we can come through and use, I like to incorporate some sort of neutral, basic metal tone for jewelry. It just helps it tie in with other metal pieces, I think. Oh, I kind of want to go with something a little darker though. Than this is a super bronze. I think I'd like to go with like an antique copper. sunset gold might work. Yeah, I think I'll go sunset gold, but then I'll do some of that super bronze up towards the tips just to give it a little bit more something something. So getting just a little on my finger. And I'm just going to use this to catch the high points of the edges of our leaves. All that glitters is gold. Scribbles Notes Furiously Fawn said, make things more messy to make things look on purpose. Side eyes my messy house. This could work. 100%. It's an aesthetic. Y'all, I'm an enabler. I'm so sorry. Okay, so... And being stingy with this mica powder doesn't do me any favors. It just makes me touch my piece too much. Because I don't want to goober it up. And the more I touch it, the more I feel like I'm goobering it up. So there we have just a little bit of that copper in the middle. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take our needle tool and I'm going to press through the middle and I'm going to open that up instead of drilling it after it's been baked. I'm just going to do that. And I'm also going to take the end of this brush and I'm going to press that in just enough that I want to be able to set like an 8mm bead here in the middle, because that's going to come through and become our bail. And I think that that will be very cool. Or it won't be. Stay tuned to find out. We'll be posting it to like social media or something probably. So I just want to get a little more distinction between the petals. There we go. Alrighty. I think, what do y'all think of that? I think it's kind of trippy, but I love it. And we have a nice thick base that it's setting upon. That way we don't have to worry about the petals being the structural integrity. And we can always, after baking, file down the back a little bit or something if we need to. But yeah, so I'm kind of picturing it sitting like a pendant. That'd be neat. Or even, since the way that we drilled it, we might be able to attach it to a little hair clip. That might be the thing to do. What do you think? But sky's the limit. So yeah, that's our live stream for today, you guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Randy, if you'll pop it over to talking head mode. Mystical hosta vibes, right? And we could have taken that and made like a little clay terracotta pot or something and put it like with, oh man, y'all, we could do the wires through the stems of these guys and have them be coming up through the center and use like a little bottle cap or something. Sorry. These little flowers on their stems coming up out of it, and if we painted this and like flipped it over to be like a little flower pot, that'd be freaking adorable. Like all three of those little trippy calla lilies we made. I think that might be. And then we've got these little silly things, or a slightly larger silly thing with a little feller in it. What did we name him? So just picture with me for a brief moment. Where's a bit of wire? Or I'll just use a toothpick. Where's a toothpick? How do I not have any toothpicks? This is redonkulous. Huh? Nah, baby. Thank you, though. Nah. So if you'll picture with me, this set to the cork with like the little calla lilies, all three of them on a wire coming up out of the center, and then you bake it, and then you put the little over it. No, you don't need to bake it on the cork. You hot glue it to the cork, and then you do that, and then you've got like alien looking flowers in a little boop boop thingy. And that's what I needed to do with my Monday. So here we are. But yeah, 100%. Very cool stuff. It'd be the perfect little fairy garden. Do it, babe?
Like, hey guys, just tuning in.
Oh, really? Hey, Bodega, how's it going? But this is one that I had made out of cast clay, and you can see after it's been baked, this is so flexible still. Sorry, it's so flexible still. Alrighty, well, while it was on talking head mode, I was supposed to be doing a commercial for we have new cabochons on the website, and you can buy them if you want. So they're up there. Check your newsletter because we sent out a 20% off coupon. So to all of our newsletter people. So I will see y'all I think we have a real short TikTok coming out tomorrow. And then I'll see y'all on Friday for the tutorial of what we just experimented with today. I'll be going over how to make the deranged hosta cabochon, which I think is beautiful.
Bodega, you missed the whole stream.
Oh, really? Just in time to restart it. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out today. I had a really good time, and we'll see y'all next time. So until then, we are posting daily over on the Monster Vlog too, still doing our baby steps program, which is coming close to an end. Like, I have 9 more videos to record, but 7 of them are 60 minutes long, and the other 2 are 55 minutes long. And so they're really hard, but we're getting it done. We'll see y'all next time. Happy crafting, you guys. Mwah. Bye.